Speaker, the member-elect is available and is ready to take and subscribe to the oath of allegiance and of Member of Parliament. Madam Speaker, I seek your indulgence to allow him to come forward and take the oath.
I, Oulanyah, swear in the name of the Almighty that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God. I, Oulanyah, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God.
Our hands. As you are aware, you came into this Parliament to replace your late father, Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah, who was a great leader, a very good legislator, a very good mentor. The people of Moro have entrusted you with all of that. And from that, you need to represent the people of Moro effectively. I would like to thank you and your family. I would also want to thank the President for delivering the success of Ojok Andrew Oulanyah. And I want to thank the father who is here, just sitting next to me, the Chief Justice, who is a parent now to Ojok. You're most welcome. We are very grateful to have you in the 11th Parliament. Congratulations once again. I am now giving you the Constitution, Constitution and the rules of procedure. This will help you in your legislative role. Congratulations.
Item number 5, communication from the Chair.
My distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to this sitting of Parliament. As you recall, we prorogued the House on 20th May 2022 in accordance with the Article 95(3) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. The prorogation marked the end of the first session of the 11th Parliament of Uganda as stipulated under Article 95(4) of the Constitution of Uganda, which provides that a session of Parliament shall be held at least once a year, but a period between one session and the next following session shall be less than 12 months. Today's sitting marks the opening of the second session of the 11th Parliament, pursuant to Article 101, Sub-Article 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. His Excellency will deliver his address to the nation on matters regarding the country. This address on the state of the nation will be the second in the 11th Parliament. Besides being a constitutional obligation, the State of Nation address is an integral part of the parliamentary tradition. It is an avenue for the President as the fountain of honor to enumerate the government's scorecard against the targeted laid down goals of the previous State of Nation and communicate the government's legislative agenda for the following session of Parliament. As representatives of the people, it is to our best interest to listen and take cognizance of the government's milestones. At an appropriate time, the House will exhaustively debate the President's address on the State of Nation. The first session of Parliament has been particularly a difficult one. While we began in the earnest on 24th May 2021 with the election of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, tragedy befell us on 20th March 2022 when we lost our beloved Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah Lokori, a very disheartening time and painful occurrence that even we continue feeling up to now. Even as we continue to recollect ourselves to recover from the grief and pursue the big aspirations that our departed former Speaker had for this House, I want the nation to know that Right Honorable Jacob Oulanyah will never be forgotten. We thank God that his legacy will survive in this House through his son, that is Honorable Ojok Andrew Oulanyah, who joined us this afternoon and after taking his oath as a member of Parliament. Ojok, you're most welcome. I take this singular opportunity to ask that we rise and observe a moment of silence in his honor.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
I want to implore you to reflect on the performance of the first session, both at institutional level and personal level as people's representatives. At institutional level, in pursuit for its legislative role, during the first session, this House, Your Excellency, passed 26 bills. Successfully passed 26 bills. And the bills are indicated in the booklet that you have, but the most important bill is the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, Bill 2021, which is helping this country so much. By the end of the first session, 23 out of the 28 bills tabled were passed by this House, while 2 bills were withdrawn from the House. All the 3 bills are still pending at committee, and this is the Kampala Capital City Amendment Bill 2022, the Public Health Amendment Bill 2021, and the Local Content Bill 2022. I implore the committees to ensure that at the end of this session, whose commencements we mark today, we register 100% performance in legislation. A total of 31 reports from committees were adopted by the House. Congratulations, members. The details of the business transacted can be found in the booklet that you have. That is from page 26 to page 41 of the State of Nation Handbook. Optimistic that the 11th Parliament will do better than any other parliament. In furtherance of the Commission, to offer you all the support that you will need in this session that we are going to. Honorable members, as we embark on the second session of the 11th Parliament, society continues to grapple with the numerous challenges, notably the increased cost of living and its attendant difficulties. I challenge all of us to work together and overcome these challenges as to improve the lives of our people. Let us rise above lamentations and tirelessly work towards diminishing and supporting the programmatic solutions. Leadership should be tailored towards solutions and not mere rhetoric lamentations. Honorable members, pursuant to Rule 187.1 of the Rules of Procedure that requires the designation of members of sectoral committees at the beginning of every session, I urge the whips to expedite the designation of members in various committees so that we can kickstart the session as soon as possible. As presiding officers, we expect much better performance of the House and its committees during this session. This will require dedication of both members and staff. I expect, and we expect, more public consultation by committees in the execution of their business. 2, evaluation of evidence in both committee and the House. That is evidence-based legislation. 3, regular reporting by committees on their undertakings. 4, regular attendance and participation of members in committees and the House. 5, continued familiarization with the rules of procedure and the legislative tools available for greater efficiency and effectiveness of members. As the chairperson of the Business Committee, I undertake keenly to follow the progression of the business referred to the committees. Our collective success will depend on our individual commitments, determination, and consistency in executing our mandate. Honorable members, in furtherance of Rule 10 of Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda, and specifically Rule 4A, which stipulates that while making a statement in this House, the President shall be heard in silence, and his address shall not be followed by any comment or question. I will allow adequate time in the future for us to exhaustively debate on the President's address on the State of Nation, including a right of reply for the Leader of Opposition in the House as per Rule 53.1 of the Rules of Procedure. I therefore urge you to listen to the President in silence as we internalize his exposition on the State of Nation, and at an appropriate time, the detailed text of the President's address will be availed to all members through the designated channels. To remind the members that the alert from the health authorities in the country have raised a serious bell or a serious warning on COVID-19. Most people have been tested and have been found positive. So I want to caution all of us to be leaders that we are, and we have responsibility to take necessary precautions and avoid the infection. And as we go to our constituencies, I want to request you to educate your constituents on the same COVID-19. I say all this for God and my country. To remind the members that the alert from the health authorities in the country have raised a serious bell or a serious warning on COVID-19. Most people have been tested and have been found positive. So I want to caution all of us to be leaders that we are, and we have responsibility to take necessary precautions and avoid the infection. And as we go to our constituencies, I want to request you to educate your constituents on the same COVID-19. I say all this for God and my country.
End of quote. Similarly, when the national resistance movement was fighting, and when we took power in 1986, we put out the 10 points program that was later summarized into the 4 principles of the NRM. Point number 5 of the NRM 10 points program set out to build, in quotes, an independent, self-sustaining national economy, end of quotes, by creating backward and forward linkages in our economy. Later, we summarized the 10 points into the 4 NRM principles of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy. Some myopic people thought that this was sandy ground where the NRM had constructed the House of Uganda. However, the onslaughts to which Uganda has been subjected in the last 2 or 3 years have proven that it is the Uganda House the NRM has constructed in the last 60 years, including the preparatory years before 1986, has been built on hard ground indeed. Remember the locusts, the rising waters of the lakes, the floating islands, the landslides, the terrorist bombs, the COVID-19, and now the rising commodity prices artificially caused by the Ukrainian war. In spite of all this, the Ugandan economy, by the budget time in the next few days, will be standing at US dollars 45.7 billion by the exchange rate method, and at US dollars 131.6 billion by the PPP method. This means that the GDP per capita is now $1,000 $46. You remember the entrance points for the lower, the entrance point, not points, the entrance point for the lower middle income status is US dollars 1,036. We have now passed that figure. Congratulations. However, to be declared a middle-income country, you need to sustain this for 2 to 3 consecutive years. I am confident we shall overperform in achieving that. Remember that our economy expanded in spite of the lockdowns caused by COVID-19 and in spite of the ever-increasing population. You can see that the size of the economy, when compared to the population that is always growing fast, has continued to grow, and we have arrived at the boundary point as far as the middle income status is concerned. Before the global destabilization by the COVID-19 and the Ukrainian crisis, Uganda was a country of surpluses that were crying out for markets in the form of sugar, maize, milk, chicken, eggs, bananas, cement, mitaimbwa, steel bars, soap, beers, etc., etc. This global crisis actually presents Uganda with plenty of opportunities. I saw on the news that Malaysia had banned the export of chicken. You know, I've been having issues with our brothers in Kenya. Sometimes they take our chicken, sometimes they stop. Sometimes they take the eggs, sometimes they stop. But now, the whole world is crying for chicken and for eggs. Malaysia has banned the export of chicken, and that India has banned the export of sugar. President Biden of the United States was crying for baby formula, etc. Many of these products are the ones that have been in surplus in Uganda. We just need to deal with a few quality and biohazard issues. The issue of aflatoxins will be dealt with by the proper harvest and drying methods, as well as the method of embracing the biotechnology. The door to our dairy exports will be opened when we, the cattle owners, vaccinate our cattle twice a year. If the government does not have the money to pay for the vaccines, we the farmers can do it. I am a farmer. I am one of the farmers, as you know. With 1,000 cattle, I would need Uganda shillings 15 million in a year for foot and mouth disease. With 1,000 cows, what is 15 million? I can pay this. So that even if the government doesn't have money, I am calling on the cattle keepers, let's vaccinate our cattle. Kama watu wa serikali hawana pesa, wacha sisi tufanye wenyewe. Given the lucrative export markets that will become available, like the one of Algeria, of US dollars 1.2 billion, this cost on the farmers will make sense. Because the Algerians have the demand for milk. But they say, we hear you have got foot and mouth. They would buy the milk, all this milk we are talking about, but they fear these recurrent episodes of foot and mouth disease. The other crucial vaccine will be the one of CBPP, what the Banyankore call Chihaha. With 1,000 cattle, we need Uganda shillings 850,000 in a year. So I really call upon the farmers to vaccinate at our cost for these two vaccines especially, the foot and mouth and the Chahawa, the CBPP, so that this issue, which stops our exports of milk and milk products, is dealt with. All this capacity that has enabled the house of the wise man to withstand the force of the storm is long before the implementation of our parish development model, whose end result is to tap the production capacity of all the 7 million households in agriculture, relying on 7 high-value commodities of coffee, fruits, dairy products, poultry, pigs, fish farming, and food growing for those of 4 acres and less. Honorable members, I have been working on these issues for the last 60 years. I'm normally polite. I don't want to appear as if I am teaching old people what to do. But this time I must be very frank. And when I go up country, I will no longer be polite. These 7 activities, I have researched on them. They can give good money if you have got a small piece of land of 4 acres or less, and they have got a big global demand. This is why I am insisting on them. Coffee, fruits, dairy products, milk, poultry, pigs. I don't eat pigs, but I have no problem if you do. Fish farming and food for the homestead. This is the medicine for the 4 acres and less. If you can't do all of them, do some. The ones with land that is bigger than 4 acres can, in addition, grow sugarcane, cotton, maize, tobacco, tea, cassava, bananas, do ranching, etc. Because the country needs these products for industry, for food, or as inputs to the intensive agriculture mentioned earlier, the agriculture of the 7 high-value activities. The agriculture of the commodities in the latter category we describe as extensive agriculture. Really, we must stop confusing ourselves. There is a difference between intensive agriculture, where you have got a small piece of land and you do enterprises which give good income even when they are done on a small piece of land, as opposed to extensive agriculture, where you need a big piece of land and you can make money by, although getting a small amount in 1 acre, because you have done many acres, you get good money. Like cotton. When I went to Ajumani, I found people talking of cotton. But how much do you get from 1 acre? Of cotton in a year? General Museveni told me that they were getting 1 million. But if you are a person of 2 acres, like some of the people in West Nile have, how will you get out of poverty? With 1 acre put under cotton and the other acre under cassava for food crop. How will you get out of poverty? That's why we say no. That acre of yours, don't put it under cotton. Put it under coffee or fruits. Because with those, you can get much more than the 1 million. But the country needs cotton. We need cotton. And it should be grown by somebody with more land. Although you are getting 1 million from 1 acre of cotton, if you have got 10 acres, that's 10 million. If you have got 100 acres, that's 100 million. If you have got 1,000 acres, that's 1 billion. So cotton can make money provided you do it on a big scale. The same with the avocado, sugarcane, like our people in Usoga. The same with Duma, maize, kasori, and other crops, tobacco. You should therefore be clear. Don't confuse our people in the villages anymore. There's a difference between intensive agriculture for small pieces of land and extensive agriculture for big pieces of land. The agriculture of the commodities in the latter category we describe as extensive agriculture, where you get less money per acre per annum, but because of doing what you are engaged in on a large scale, you get good money. The activities of intensive agriculture, such as poultry, piggery, fish farming, dairy farming of the zero grazing type, need animal feeds, fish meals, etc., that are from the maize and other products of the extensive agriculture type. So you cannot easily have intensive agriculture without extensive agriculture, because intensive agriculture needs inputs from the extensive agriculture. That's why Uganda is unbeatable in terms of chicken, of eggs. Nobody can compete with us in the world because we have both. We have cheap maize, so we can make cheap animal feed and therefore support chicken and pigs and fish farming. That's why normally our brothers in Kenya get problems, because we are able to give them chicken, very good eggs, very good milk, but at a low cost, because we have got cheaper animal feeds. Moreover, the wise man's house is currently full of surpluses without too much use of irrigation or the use of fertilizers. The surpluses we have, 5 million tons of maize, 2.8 billion liters of milk. Maize, Uganda consumes only 1 million, but we produce 5 million tons. Milk, We consume only 800 million liters, but we produce 2.8 billion liters. Sugar, 700,000 tons. I opened a new factory the other day in Chiriandongo, but we consume only 380,000. And all that. All this is before the parish development model, which we are about to launch, is before the use of fertilizers, because we don't use many fertilizers, is before irrigation. Surpluses, huge surpluses, even before everybody is involved, which we are going to do under the parish model, before we use irrigation, before we use fertilizers seriously.